Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Heavy Hands Podcast, Jaw Broke, episode numero uno. I am Noah Hellick. Directly to my left is our co-host Eric Williams, and directly to his left is our other co-host, Hunter the Shark Vaughn. It is Tuesday, December 29th, and it is a pretty icy day here in the Kansas City Metro. How are you boys doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm a little offended that I didn't get a shout out for a nickname, but that's cool.
Shout out Darth Airhawk.
Do you have a nickname?
Yeah, Darth Airhawk, dude. It's my Twitter handle. I think it's my Instagram handle. Yeah. It's everything, dude.
Yeah. Well, that is my apology then,
yeah,
sir.
Dude. Yeah.
I'm good. I just spilled coffee on myself, so let's eat. But
excellent. How's your guys' Christmas?
Well, I'll let Hunter go first because I think you kind of know the deal with mine.
It was cool. I just spent it with family mostly, and the shitty thing about becoming an adult is you stop receiving gifts, money, etc., and start spending money on gifts and giving money away. So that really is shitty to deal with, but it's cool because the feeling of being able to give. Like last year, I didn't have any money, wasn't able to get anything for anybody, and so my goal for working all year was to be able to give to people. And so like I got some birthday money because my birthday's right before Christmas, so I spent all my birthday money on getting presents for people, and then I got a little bit of money, and I got a bonus from work. And I spent my bonus and whatever money I had left on more Christmas gifts for people. And it's such a fulfilling feeling to be able to give to people like that. Like, not even just my daughter. Like, my girl's best friend's kid, I bought presents for him. My boss's daughter and son, stuff like that. Like, just being like, whatever. Just being able to buy stuff for people. Like,
so you bought the whole town gifts?
Yeah. Not you guys per se, but
right. I didn't receive shit.
Yeah, no, just like family and friends, stuff like that. Actually, that was cap. I didn't buy my boss's kids anything. I meant to, but then I ran out of money. So sorry, Brandon, because I know you're gonna listen. But, yeah, I don't know. Just I feel really good about this Christmas.
So did you celebrate on the traditional days, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day?
Yeah, I had to work Christmas Eve actually, but it was cool.
What did you guys do on Christmas Eve?
God, what did I do? I think we went to go stay the night with my mom. Yeah, we went to stay the night with my mom Christmas Eve after I got off work. Just hung out there. We just really watched a scary movie.
What, you watched a scary movie? So you watched like Krampus or something, or did you watch like an actual I
wanted to watch Black Christmas, but
right,
they weren't about it.
Traditional.
So we watched
scary.
The Others actually.
Okay, spooky. That movie's spooky.
Yeah, it was not as good as I thought because I'd seen it before as a kid when I was younger, and I was like, "Oh, this is really scary." And when we watched it, I was like, "This is kind of lame," but it was good nostalgia. But yeah, I woke up the next day, went to Christmas at Abby's side of the family, and then came back home for Christmas at my house at my mom's house with my sister and her husband and all that. But
so you stayed the night on Christmas Eve at your mom's house.
Yeah.
Woke up. Went to Abby's family's house, then went back to your mom's.
Yeah.
So your mom kind of stole a lot of your Christmas time.
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part. But that's how it is. I mean, sorry about you. If you're not alpha like my mom, then too bad.
Well, it sounds like a good Christmas. Did you get any one gift that you want to talk about, other than the gift of giving?
This jacket. I mentioned this jacket that I have on right now to Abby like 5 months ago. Like I saw it and I was like, yo, that's so sick. I love that. Wish I had money to buy it. And then, yeah, so I got this. Like she just gave it to me one day and I was like, yo, that's dope. That's super sick. Thank you. That she remembered even. So this is really the only like materialistic thing that I got for Christmas.
Black jean jacket. Almost.
Yeah, black jean jacket.
It's an attractive jacket, sir.
It's super warm. It's got like the wool inside or whatever.
Is that down?
No, fuck no.
No.
No, down is like this is like similar to like what like
Get right into your mic there, buddy.
Like sheep's wool or whatever is what this is like the idea of. Down is like feathers from a duck.
And down, the deal with it is it doesn't get wet, or when it gets wet, it stays warm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Does it
Okay.
dissipate the water
That's
pretty
like
quickly?
wool too, though. Wool does that as well. I'm not sure if it dissipates it. I guess it does because it's direct. I mean, it's literally feathers that are covered by like a material that is. I mean, it's like
It's like a waterproofer.
right, exactly. So, in theory, it'll just stay warm, however long you need it to, or whatever. Because unless it's like just totally getting soaked with a bunch of water and stuff.
Have you owned a down
I
item?
have a down.
So give me an
jacket.
example of what you would have in hunting gear.
No. I've got an orange like outdoor research jacket. That's the thing about down is it's like really compact too, so you can like make it like small. I mean, it can probably fit in my hand, and it's a full size jacket.
Whoa,
But it's also like the warmest jacket I own.
that's incredible.
Yeah, that's like so a lot of backpacking and like hikers use down.
Expensive as well.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
can be pricey. I think it's like a $100 and something jacket.
What'd you do for Christmas, Eric?
Oh, I gave back to the local community by working, earning a paycheck. I was back
Doing
half
God's
on
work.
the ambulance that night, so we didn't do anything of note, really.
So you spent the day on the fire truck and the night on the ambulance?
Yeah, no fires or anything, I don't think. We had a couple car wrecks. Luckily, it didn't. I mean, it was really actually a nice day.
Any fatalities in the car wrecks? They were not bad. That's good.
No, nothing notable there.
Yeah.
But we did a Christmas dinner at the firehouse. That's like a big thing. So spent a good amount of money. Did some prime rib.
What was Shaq for the day?
Yeah, shout out
Shaq was normal. Shaq was
Normal?
a normal price. So we just had kind of like put away a little bit more for dinner that evening. I think we spent probably $200 or $300 though on.
Explain
on
Shaq real
overall.
quick for people who don't know. Just
Okay, so
briefly.
Shaq is just like literally a pot of money that you put into. So say we've got four guys on the pumper and 2 guys on the ambulance. Everyone's gonna put in $20, and we're gonna do lunch and dinner. Sometimes breakfast. Usually breakfast is on the weekends. So that's kind of how Shaq goes. And
Is Shaq, you bring that every time you go to work?
Every time,
and
dude.
You work, what, 24-hour shifts?
24-hour shifts, 8
to 9 days a month.
Yep.
Okay, and so you
And
just
it's-
bring $20
yeah.
every time you go
It's
to
a
work.
pretty good deal too.
You
Honestly.
bring cash or do you Venmo or what?
No, it's always cash.
Sometimes guys though they'll be like, "Hey, can you cover my Shaq?" And then
Right.
you
Venmo.
Facebook them, Venmo. Yeah.
Okay.
You work together. It's nothing too crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of nice too how they set a notebook on the table and you just go and put your cash down and write your name. It's not like you have to go facilitate your money to
Okay.
somebody.
Yeah.
Well, so did you do anything on Christmas Eve
Did I do anything on Christmas Eve?
or around the holidays? Did you have a family get together?
Not really, man. My dad went out of town, and he's like the only one I really spend Christmas stuff with. With COVID and stuff, I was trying to not be around my niece and nephew too awful much, just because, we work around it a lot, and I'm not trying to give anything to either, my sister or my brother-in-law, just because they're both working people, and my sister does like childcare, so she can't be having COVID in the house. She has COVID in the house. She can't have kids over and stuff like that. And it's already kind of, there's only so many people that want to drop their kid off during this pandemic thing.
It's at her house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's got a little, basement kind of set up for it. So
what do you think? Holidays around this, or like the holiday season, is kind of tough for me and Abby. Not really me, but more Abby because her dad passed away. So, like right before Christmas, it was like the 23rd, I think,
Oh, wow.
24th, 22nd, whatever. But that I just can't imagine like being in that position. Like every year, it's supposed to be like this cheerful time, and that's why I was asking about like the fatalities on Christmas. Like I can't imagine like this day is supposed to be a beautiful day of giving and loving on your family, and then but your world's turned upside down or whatever. Like losing someone, that would be just an astronomically life-changing way to look at the holiday. Like
Right.
every year, Abby gets super sad. Not to call her out, but she gets super sad every year, and like right around Christmas, and it's just so sad to me. But I just try to cheer her up. But
yeah, dude, I think the holidays are really, especially as you get older, you kind of worry less about gifts and stuff, and you kind of realize that it's more of a family event. And, you know, especially when you're 20, 25, you stop thinking about gifts. And, you know, I mean, I guess you start thinking about being able to give people gifts and getting kids stuff and making sure that you can give something if you can. But it's really just kind of about being around your family and stuff. So I think that it is really hard for people who have experienced loss. I mean, personally, I don't, you know, I'm not trying to be like a Grinch about it, but it's definitely, I definitely dread the time period a little bit, just because like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all that, it's rough. So
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it'll change a little bit when you have a family.
yeah, and that's, you know, in theory, like, not that it, like, I think that what will happen then is that I will just have, you know, more orientation towards that. Like, it's not that I'm going to, I guess kind of the grief that comes with that also is almost like a homage, you know, it's like a respect thing that you're like, you know, this person was like a part of my life, and, you know, you can't like just like forget about them, because there is like a part of you that's like, in theory, you know, you could just be like, I'm going to celebrate Christmas normally.
So, not to stop you, but did your mom pass away around this time of the year?
Yeah, February 9th.
Okay, so,
So,
you know, it's like right after the holidays, you know. So, like, whenever, like, for Christmas, like, do you, like, even this, how long has it been? Like 10 years or something, you said?
16 years
16
this
years?
February.
So, like, even around Christmas, you're still kind of thinking about her?
Oh, definitely, dude.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And I mean, like, mothers are the ones that really kind of keep everything together.
Yeah,
You know, like,
especially for the holidays.
if you think about it, I mean, everyone's dad is, you know, dads are, you know, dudes are doing other
I
stuff.
mean, I'm a
and-
dad, bro. Like at
Right.
Christmas, I'm not all about like
Right.
the photos and
Yeah.
like the dressing up. Like
It's-
I buy the shit for my little girl.
Girls are a
open it.
full-time personal assistant almost during that time. They're scheduling
Dude,
stuff.
yeah, like look
Yeah.
at
They
what
got
Alexis
plans,
Wrapping
Alexis is,
presents.
During this
all
time, I
kinds
have
of
no
shit.
idea what we're doing. I wake up, but I've got a full schedule for about 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Alexis has got you like doing Christmas stuff, doing the Christmas tree.
2 weeks straight.
Which, hey, and I'm not knocking that at all, because like I'd love to do that kind of stuff. Partially because when I was like, you know, 11, I lost a parent that was like apt to do those things. We put up Christmas trees and stuff like that, you know, a couple years in a row afterwards, and then you know, my dad's girlfriend, we would go over there and do Christmas. So it's not like I completely missed out on that, but it's definitely
You just don't have that parent.
yeah, and it's, you know, it's when it's your dad's girlfriend, it's still not your mom. So, it's weird to
Absolutely.
have a relationship with somebody like that, because I'm just, you know, it's not that I was like distrusting of it or anything, but it's just foreign, and it's hard to kind of like allow yourself to you know,
Close
really
that like gap in the relationship. It's
right,
not the same thing.
really allow that person in your life, because I'm sure like my dad's girlfriend at the time would have definitely been like, you know, more than open to like,
Having you over.
well, acting like my mom kind of thing.
Yeah, or
And I was just
spending-
like, no, I don't know about all that. Maybe that's a fucking bad way to respond to it, and you know, I could definitely use some therapy on that aspect.
I think it's a
I'm sure.
natural way to respond.
You've heard it here first.
Right.
So do you have any one item, thing, or event that you did that you want to talk about that you think made your Christmas?
This year.
Yeah, like he said he likes his new black denim
yeah,
jacket.
I was able to give, you know, I gave my niece and nephew a PS4 and like some games, and then I gave my dad and brother some like pretty expensive like automatic action knives.
That's
So
pretty badass.
Nice.
they were
Not-
cool.
not- the
yeah.
knives are obviously cool, but like for you to be able to buy like a PS4 for your niece and nephew, that's
yeah,
pretty
that
sick.
was it
Oh,
was
you
fun.
got them a PS4 both?
No, just get them one, but they
But
can
still.
share it.
Well,
And
yeah.
that's,
sick.
you know, that's
That's-
yeah.
That's a
pretty
big
badass.
gift.
I got
Two
my
controllers
fucking-
and like 8 games or something.
I got my nephew
Nice.
a lava lamp,
There you
Hell
go.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's 2. So.
Bro, it's about giving. It's really
it's
about
fine.
just like giving
It's
kids
fine.
gifts, because like they're gonna grow up and they're gonna do
Yeah.
the same thing, and that's that's what the whole spirit's about, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, the act of giving and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm
like,
not a.
Well, let's just
one
hope
thing-
Hunter's niece and nephew don't know your niece and nephew. I got a lava lamp. I got a fucking PS4.
Well, so like what you were talking about, how it's all really about family, and like you realize that later on, like so this year our plan for my family was like to not do gifts. So like none of the adults got gifts. So that's why I was saying I didn't really get shit. Like not because nobody gave me anything, but like we just all agreed to not do anything except for the kids. We'll just buy shit for the kids. So I dropped a lot of money on Blakely, my daughter, and then my nephew Hudson. I kept asking my sister, like, what does he need? Is there anything I can get? And she kept telling me no, because he has everything. So I was, like, trying to think, what would be sick for his room? And my daughter has trouble going to sleep at night. All she has is a nightlight. And I was thinking, what about, like, for a 2-year-old, how cool would that be able to watch while you're just laying there, you know? Like, remember when you were a kid, how fascinating lava lamps are? So I got this badass lava lamp.
Bro, I'm 26 and I'm like, fucking dope.
Yeah, bro,
lava lamp.
exactly.
I
So
put one in my room
I thought
right
it was
now.
pretty sick, and then I got him some books, or like an outfit, something like that.
Not
But-
movies, books.
Huh? Yeah, not movies. no, I didn't get him any movies. My sister's more like trying to educate him.
What books did you get
with
him?
the books.
Some Friedrich Nietzsche?
Yeah, yeah, I got him. Like Dante's Inferno.
There you go, dude.
Yeah,
All right, Noah, your turn, dude. What did you do for Christmas?
I always had to sleep with the light on too. I used a portable DVD player that I would always put on That 70s Show, and I'd turn it on and fall right to sleep.
Weak
so
choice, but whatever.
what?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, it was a piece of shit. This was when people had nice
No,
TVs
I think
and
he's
stuff.
commenting about that 70s show.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying a big flex on the portable
No, I
DVD
said
player.
weak choice,
Mm.
but no, I was just kidding.
Yeah,
70
that's the
shows,
greatest show ever. So I'm sure that your nephew likes that lava lamp.
My sister probably threw it away, but
I hope
Oh,
not.
wow, dude.
well, my sister's like very picky, and like I got her like some decorations for his room. Like,
Does your sister look like your mom, dude?
yes, she does. Yeah,
Just out of curiosity. Anyway,
but I'll show you a picture.
Anyway, so I also spent Christmas at the firehouse at a different station, but I do work the same shift as Eric. What did we have? For lunch,
What station were you at?
I don't want to say.
In 102 though.
I was in 102s. So I worked
Okay, I think yeah.
on the ambulance on the front half of the shift,
Oh, nice.
and I had
This is her now.
nothing for lunch because the boys did not plan ahead.
Oh,
And so they did not realize that every store would be closed.
oh my God.
Well, Savior, the chief, actually brought by steak, so they might have known that's what was happening. But there was no plan for Shaq until they realized steaks
So there was
were being
no
brought.
lunch. Plan?
Lunch was steaks that were brought in, or prime rib actually, that was
And-
brought in with
and-
mashed potatoes.
Wow.
So it was good. I
Sounds
didn't get
smack.
one because I was too busy running calls all day. Then I got shipped out to another station for the night shift where a guy who I had known had been on the ambulance for 24 hours, multiple shifts in a row. So my favorite thing that I did was I gave this guy a Christmas gift, and I just worked the ambulance that night too. So I ate a protein muffin that I microwaved and a couple protein bars. I chugged
Nice.
some water. I took about 2 or 3 30-minute naps. Was on the ambulance for 24 hours.
You save any lives or what?
No,
That's false.
No.
That's false.
but I did at about 5:30 in the morning when everyone was zonked, snuck into the refrigerator and found me some leftovers from the last day that they were
Nice.
on.
That's
And
good.
so I had myself a little Christmas dinner. That was
Excellent.
Christmas Day. Christmas Eve I spent with the girlfriend's family,
Wake.
which was a full day of lots of good Italian food, lots of
Nice.
alcohol,
Shout out to the Siernas.
Cerna.
What?
I don't know how to say it, bro.
So I had a good
Cerna.
Christmas. My family never celebrates on Christmas Day because my dad, he works for the news, fake news. And so he also has kind of jobs like us where you don't work traditional days. And so we'd always celebrate whenever we could. So then just this previous Sunday, we watched the Chiefs game with my mom. And
Go Chiefs.
now next week I'm going to celebrate with my dad's side.
Oh,
so nothing too
nice.
traditional for me either. Just
Do
kind
you-
of whenever we
Shout
can
out
fit
Pat.
it in.
Do you like the split? So do you like? So you have the Cernas
Yes.
Christmas, and
the-
that's I know that's like
they
a
also
several
do a
day.
pre-Christmas.
I know, yeah. You get the warm up, and then you get the like the secondary warm up and the full
What?
deal. And
well,
then
and both of their sides do one. So if you're off,
right,
they
it's
do
like
one
12
on-
days of Christmas for Helic
Yeah.
over here,
Mhm.
which is
What?
I mean that's a perk, honestly, dude. I think that I think I'd like that.
Because
How
they're
big is the
Italian, or
family?
why
The
why
problem
is there so
is-
many Christmases?
Yeah, because they have a huge side on their dad, a huge side on their mom. So one on Christmas Eve they'll have the mom's side over, or the dad's side. On Christmas Day they'll do the other. Thanksgiving's huge. From Thanksgiving until New Year's, it's a stretch of full feasts, and I
That's
cannot
neat.
complain.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Full feasts.
fighting at 205 here soon, huh?
I'm about there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my favorite thing that I got to give was that poor kid. I think I came over, I was supposed to work on the pumper, and he was moving his stuff onto the ambulance, and I said, you can stay on the truck. And I ended up just working the rest of the shift for him on the ambulance, and I think he thought that was pretty nice. So
Yeah. That's
that's
pretty
what I
sweet.
did.
So-
I
it's a
also
good thing to
got
do.
a Ninja Foodie.
Oh wow!
For
Which
the
one? Which
girlfriend?
one? For her?
It's the 5-in-1 grill.
Oh, nice. That's the best
Combo?
one. It's the best one, honestly.
Yes.
I like the air fryer, but
No
the-
half-assing around from Hell Hockey.
Yeah.
It was a good gift. I got it for her so she could learn how to cook, because she can't cook.
Dude, that's a like a
And-
disgrace in an Italian family, isn't it?
Right.
Well, yeah, but so I ended
She's
up
gonna
cooking
watch this and
some
be
stuff.
so mad at me. I'm sorry. That's
I ended
fine.
up cooking some sweet potato fries in there, and they were
Heat?
delicious.
Yeah, dude.
Amazing, perfect consistency. You know, how sweet potato fries are sometimes mush.
Yeah,
These were not. These tasted like French fry consistency.
Nice.
They were fucking excellent. So I can't wait to use that on.
Is it just sitting on the floor in your kitchen right now, or is it just?
No, we have like a little table set up for you guys that don't know. We're working on the kitchen. We have been for 6 months. Probably will now that these assholes won't give us our $2,000.
God damn it!
But then on Christmas Eve, we opened up a gift from her family, and it was a Ninja Foodie pressure cooker. So now
Oh
we've
my
got the
God.
full Ninja line upstairs.
Jeez.
You're like Thanos with the fucking Infinity Gauntlet, and you're just
So that was my
adding
Christmas.
one more fucking gem to that thing. Let's go.
Kind of drawing that out. Nobody gives a shit about our Christmases.
Hey, dude,
So,
we
you guys
can
want to
talk-
get into some MMA news?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
The first thing, which I would say is one of the two biggest topics, the Khamzat Chimaev versus Leon Edwards fight is canceled for the second time in a row.
Trash.
This fight was supposed to be a 5-round main event, December 19th, Las Vegas, and it did not happen. I believe that Khamzat or Leon pulled out for an undisclosed
Khamzat,
I
yeah.
read.
and it unknown
Undisclosed,
Unknown
yeah.
still.
might have been COVID. There was rumors Leon Edwards had COVID.
Yeah.
The fight was canceled, and it was rescheduled for a 3-day stretch that is not 3 concurrent days that will happen January 16th through January 23rd in Abu Dhabi, which will be the international fight week for this year.
Oh wow.
I've heard they're going to have fans in
What?
Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi has controlled this pandemic. They had the money for testing. They have some of the best hospitals and facilities, and they are going to have live fans supposedly at this 3-day stretch.
So at the current Fight Island location.
Yes, the Fight Island will have an international fight week, January 16th through the 23rd. The first fight night was supposed to kick off with Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar, and that was going to be on Wednesday, January 16th, followed by January 20th, Khamzat Chimaev, Leon Edwards, which is now off, and then obviously that whole week would end with Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, number 2 on Saturday, January 23rd.
That's gonna be
So-
an exciting fight.
Who's Leon's next opponent? Because I saw he called out. We were talking about. He
Jorge.
called out Jorge, which that's a scary call out, or really smart.
Is Masvidal
Well-
training right now? Do we know if he's in camp?
Maz already pieced him up once, boy.
Let me preface this, and
Three
I'll pitch
piece
it to
in a
you
soda.
first, Hunter. So, if that fight doesn't happen, is there another opponent on somewhat short notice that you would like to see Leon Edwards against? And I know you kind of spilled the beans already, but
Yeah.
If it wasn't Jorge Masvidal, or if it was, who do you want to see him most face, and who do you think is a fair opposition for him to get on short notice?
What's his win streak at right now?
Leon Edwards?
Isn't he on like a 4 fight? He's kind of rolling right now. They were talking about giving him a title shot.
Yeah, I think he was asking for it, but I don't know.
They.
if
I
they were.
also read earlier. See if you can fact check this, but I saw that the UFC was actually trying to already match him up with a new opponent, obviously. So even though he was calling out Jorge, they're trying to match him with somebody else for some reason. Probably Jorge's eating pizza and shit.
I was gonna say, do you think it's a tactical decision of his to call out Jorge? Do you think he thinks that's an easy fight
Right now.
right now?
Yeah,
Just because Jorge's out
probably
of
been,
camp?
Yeah, Jorge's probably been eating pizza, like I
Yeah.
said.
Leon Edwards is 8-0 in his last 8. His
Oh, wow.
last loss
Way off.
was to Kamaru Usman. He's undefeated since May of 2016.
Wow.
He's kind of the dark horse of that division.
Who's the number 2? Is he the number 2 right now?
I would say I will get the official rankings momentarily, but he gets a lot of flack because he is a point style fighter, and he is not going to put himself on the line to get a finish.
But he's 8-0.
What
But
about
he is 8-0. Out of those 8 fights, he has 6 decisions.
Till? Is Till's at 85 now, isn't he?
I don't think Till's going to go back to 170.
No.
No, absolutely not. Till is on Instagram eating Twinkies
Yeah.
and drinking pop.
That'd be a good fight though.
Yeah.
Counterpuncher.
So, Eric, is there anyone else besides Jorge Masvidal, or do you need to see the rankings
That's
first?
the one I want to see. Who else is there?
Oh man. Well, I know Wonderboy just took a fight, and I think he's injured now.
Damn.
That's who I was gonna say.
I would
That's a
like
good
to see
one.
that fight
What do
also.
you think,
That'd be-
Wonderboy?
Yeah,
I
that'd
think
be great.
Wonderboy is a excellent stand-up kind of fighter for him to take.
Great
But
challenge.
I
for
know
both
that
guys.
I know he got kind of cut up, and I think he has a little bit of a right knee injury after this last fight.
Colby Covington is number 1. Obviously, Usman is the champion. Gilbert Burns, number 2. Leon Edwards, 3.
Ooh.
Oh,
Jorge
that's who they were
Masvidal,
talking about.
4.
Burns. Yeah, they were talking about Gilbert
Oh my
fighting him.
god.
Steven Thompson, 5.
Yeah, I think
Colby?
Thompson is.
I think Colby destroys Leon.
Yeah, I think that's too much. I think that's too steep of a hill for him. But I think he underestimates Gilbert Burns because
Yeah.
Gilbert Burns' striking has gotten so much better in like the last 2 fights that he's fought.
You say that it's too steep. Let me counter that argument and play devil's advocate. Where should he go? Because if Colby's too steep, there's only 2 people in front of him. He either has to face Colby or Gilbert, or
I
he's
think Gilbert,
facing.
I think he thinks Gilbert is less of a challenge, and that's probably also why he's calling out Masvidal. I mean, because he's like, I don't want to fight.
That's a big money fight too.
Yeah, Masvidal's got a big name. He did a lot with the BMF thing, so I think that's a tactical move on his part. But I don't think Jorge's even said anything back. So, and
I
we
don't
all know that
Jorge's
Jorge would,
status.
if he was ready to fight, he'd be like, all right, motherfucker.
Yeah,
let's
he
do
already
it."
pieced him up 3 times, and
So we've had some names, but I think we all would like to see the Jorge fight.
Jorge mostly, Gilbert next.
Yeah.
I think Colby runs through him. I think Colby can beat Kamaru as well.
Marty
close.
from Nebraska.
Yeah, Marty Fake Newsman.
Fake newsman, God.
But
Where's Ben Askren?
yeah,
I know
Can
they
we
were.
get Ben Askren back in the UFC? I think he can fight Leon.
I know they were targeting. I believe it was going to be in March. Colby Covington versus
Usman?
Jorge.
Oh,
No, Usman is supposed to fight Burns, as that fight fell through due to Burns getting COVID.
Yeah.
So I think that Usman is spoken for with Gilbert Burns right now. Obviously, you guys know that they both trained at the same camp, Hard Knocks 365 under Henry Hooft. Well,
we're
Kamara
talking
left.
about Colby or are you talking
No, we're
about?
talking about Usman and Burns.
Okay.
So that fight between Usman and Burns was supposed to happen, and they both were training at the Hard Knocks gym. Meanwhile, Usman up and left and went to Justin Gaethje's trainer, Trevor Whitman, for that camp.
Coach of the year.
I agree.
Wow. So are they rivals, or like do they not like each other? Because like
I'm
think
sure-
about Colby and Masvidal, they hate each other.
I
They
think
used to
this was a
train together.
professional decision.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Usman might act like he doesn't like Burns.
Could be
But-
hype though.
Yeah, I mean Burns is like He's not. I don't think he's a big shit talker.
Yeah.
He's a pretty nice guy from what I've seen, and he's hungry. I think he wants to fight, and I think he's got a really, really high ceiling, man. I think his jiu-jitsu's really good. If he can bring his striking up to par, then
which has consistently gotten much, much better.
Yeah, he's a real problem for the division, I think, especially with Kamaru. He's a good Kamaru's a good wrestler, but he really hasn't used wrestling a whole lot, and in the last couple fights, I mean, what did he do to Jorge? Was Jorge's last fight?
Yeah.
Jorge's last fight was Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he just stomped his feet, right?
On about 7 days' notice, if I'm not mistaken.
Clinch control.
Yeah, it was just clinches and just stomping his feet and scoring points, right?
I was very impressed with Jorge Masvidal's takedown defense in there and his ability to get back to his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about, once you get to that level, it's like what Cormier said about Stipe. They were all telling they were all telling, Cormier, why don't you just wrestle him? And then Cormier was like, he can wrestle too. You don't get to be you don't get to this level without being able to wrestle, especially being, one of the arguably greatest heavyweight or in general fighters of all time. Of course he can wrestle, just because he's not an Olympic gold medalist or whatever, doesn't mean he can't wrestle. And I really loved that Cormier shouted that out. So he just slugged it out for 5 rounds.
And I mean, especially this is MMA. It's not wrestling. Just because you can wrestle doesn't mean that it's going to be. Yeah. It is a good thing to fall back to, and it's a good fundamental aspect of the game. But in the end, you're throwing punches, and it's not just grappling.
Yeah. So. Great athlete Ben Askren. You got to come to fight, and the only thing he really brought to the table was
funky wrestling.
No striking. Striking's horrible, and he got destroyed and then retired by somebody who was prepared for the whole fight. Not, and granted it was a fluke knockout, but either way that fight goes, I think Maz was just tearing him up.
Seeing Jorge's defense, 5 rounds, 7 days notice against Usman, I think we now know that fight, even if he didn't get knocked out, it would have gone probably close to the same, if not the exact same way.
Exactly.
Ending with Ben Askren being pieced up.
Didn't he he got submitted by Damian Maia in second round?
I believe it was later, maybe 3rd or 4th.
Either way.
Reverse triangle or something, though, right?
But that fight was atrocious bar drunk fight on the feet. I just wanted to go to the ground
and
immediately. Why didn't they just start that fight on the ground?
I know, both of them. I know, really. It was a fun fight to watch, but I was just
from a grappler standpoint,
right? That's what I knew was going to happen.
3rd round technical submission, rear naked choke.
It was a rear naked choke. Okay, yeah.
So if you're somebody like my dad who doesn't train like us or grapple, you just want
it's hard to watch, man.
It's hard to watch those. Yeah, my dad hated Damian Maia versus Woodley. I thought it was great because Woodley stuffed 25 takedowns. I was like, yo, that was sick. My dad was like, this is more boring fight I ever watched.
No, boys are hugging on each other.
When Askren and Damian Maia were on the ground, it was pure sex. That was fantastic.
It was really good.
That was watching some fluidity.
Askren doing I don't know, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, whatever, this hybrid that he has. Man, I mean, I got to see him wrestle at Mizzou when I was 9 years old, and it was crazy then. And so watching him now, on a high, on the biggest showcase, I guess, or whatever. It was pretty cool.
Well, so you guys both would like to see Leon Edwards, Jorge Masvidal. I would like to see that as well, but I'd watch anyone in the top 5. I don't have anything new to say. I was gonna put my money on Wonder Boy. Obviously, he gets injured a lot with his hands post fight. I'm just not done on Wonder Boy yet. I think his style is so exciting. He is a point fighter. But you saw in his last fight with Jeff Neal, if Jeff Neal comes at you or any fighter comes at you, he's willing to stand there and trade, even with his karate style.
Dude, he's not scared. I think a lot of people, just because he's literally a nice guy, a lot of people come at him and act like he's just gonna buckle
and not bang, and he will sit there and he'll trade blows, and he did numerous times in that Jeff Neal fight, which was a fantastic fight.
So what is that? A month's notice, if that fight could get set up?
We have a little less than A little less than a month.
Yeah, and
he's
if
got
he's not injured,
Yeah.
so
He's got
Which
time. I love that about him. Like, that
He's
such
probably-
a humble, so nice.
and he's super durable. I think he's got a couple cuts on his face, but other
Yeah.
than that,
That's probably healed by now, right? A couple weeks later. It's like 2 weeks, right? No.
I'm sure,
it
but
2 weeks?
I doubt he's a smart guy. I don't think he'll take that fight. Which you mentioned Ben Askren, which brings us to our next topic. Unfortunately, we have to talk about
He
not really MMA news.
Logan Paul.
Jake.
Jake Paul has taken to Twitter. I can't get these Paul fuckers straight. Has taken to Twitter to call out Ben Askren in a boxing match, which I imagine would have to be an exhibition.
I think
And-
actually Askren called him out, didn't he?
Well, Askren put on there that he would accept.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it looks like this is shaping up as we have a date of March 28th.
Wow, there's a date?
So now, since that date has come out, I have not heard much as far as the Twitter sphere from Jake Paul. But how do you guys see this fight playing out, Eric?
Oh man, I think Jake doesn't have that much experience. He definitely, from the videos I've seen on Instagram, and he's got, you know, like his little vlog stuff on YouTube. And I'm not a big dick rider, so I'm not watching all of these. But I think he does get into some wars with these guys in the gym, and whether those guys are scrubs or not. Whereas Ben Askren has been around professional strikers for over a decade.
Since he was crawling.
And
Yeah.
learning how to beat them
Right.
as a wrestler.
As a wrestler, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he can't, you know,
Fight.
box for
Yeah.
you know 20 minutes or whatever, and win based on points and based on just ability. I think that Ben definitely in the UFC, or in the UFC more so. In one, he looked different to me. Obviously, the skill and the talent level is a little different there, but I think that he can make the hands work. I think for him and win.
Before,
I don't see any knockouts or anything.
Before
like
I
that.
pitch it over to Hunter, I do want to ask you, what... Well, first, let me hear what you have to say, because I don't want to ruin anyone's prediction. How do you think the fight plays out? This is a futuristic universe. Let's say that it is going to happen March 28th, which we all know it might fall through, it might not happen. What is your prediction, and how do you see it happening?
I think Askren gets KO'd.
You think he gets KO'd?
I'm almost with Hunter here.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. Like, I get that, like, he has trained, like, with athletes, but, like, he's not training boxing. And so, like, you can't, there's no shooting a double leg. You know what I'm saying? And that being said, this is not boxing.
Yeah, but you
This
don't.
is
Hold on. You don't think that Askren? And I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
But
Go
you
ahead.
don't think that Askren ties up just to stop the heart, like the big hands, and he keeps the distance tight.
Jake Paul's a big motherfucker.
I know. I was going to ask this. What is our weight difference that we're dealing with here?
I actually think the weight's pretty fair. I think Askren out of camp, not training for a fight. He fought at 170. I
And
think
Paul
that
is
he
like
probably, yeah, I think they probably are both going to be just over
Height?
200 pounds.
Yeah.
height around the
Okay.
same and stuff.
I
Maybe.
think so. I think
But-
Paul's probably a couple inches taller,
but
maybe
let's-
6'2".
Now, granted, that wrestling strength is different. Them
It
boys don't
is.
even have to work, and they are strong. But look at Jake Paul, monster. I fucking hate both the Paul brothers. So I'm
Yeah,
not a
but
big
hold
fan,
on,
but,
hold
like,
on.
he's
Let's
a
not be
monster.
a big proponent of like just because they look big, they're
No, for
savages.
sure. It's
because that ain't
my
true.
boy
We
Angel
know
calls
that.
it popcorn muscle.
Yeah, bro.
Um,
It's super like, you know,
Yeah.
they're good for about a round.
Yeah.
And then it's like after that you're
But-
like, well, time
but
to work.
Can Askren survive the onslaught? Because I mean, we saw it with the Nate Robinson fight.
Hold on. You're making it right with the Nate Robinson fight, but this is bringing parallels to McGregor Mayweather for me.
Okay.
Can Mayweather survive McGregor coming after him? That's what everyone said.
But is Askren Mayweather?
No, bro. But
Not
this,
in
but this
even
is,
a
this is-
parallel
he's not even a
universe.
boxer.
He is not.
Paul only trains boxing. Not that he's he's not Canelo or anybody like that, but he only trains boxing. Whereas Askren, and even MMA striking is a whole different thing than boxing.
For sure. But you're
So-
telling me that you don't. I mean, I would imagine that Askren probably put on boxing gloves before
For sure.
Jake Paul even knew what boxing was.
But that's still different. You know what I'm saying? That's still different.
It
than
is.
Like me boxing versus somebody coming to the MMA gym and like boxing at the gym. Like that's a whole different level of ball game or whatever.
Right. The game plan is different. The game is different.
Yeah.
The one thing I can't get over, and I think this is what you guys are kind of alluding to, half of Ben Askren's strikes might not even have worked if there was no threat of the takedown.
Oh,
there is no
absolutely.
threat of the takedown here.
Absolutely not.
And
He's not really
another thing with veteran status people too, no matter if you're a jiu-jitsu guy doing boxing, vice versa, Askren is very, he's a veteran, and he's going to be calmer in there. And I think that's going to work against him because he's going to be sitting there eating shots.
Yeah.
And he's going to think, oh, eventually I'll be able to see my openings. And he probably can take shots for a long time.
His chin's pretty tough, man. I mean, like,
Yeah,
as
I wasn't
far as
even saying
Lawler,
that,
he went in
like-
there with Lawler and,
Yeah.
like,
I just don't think that's going to
true,
work to his advantage unless he tires Jake Paul out and maybe gets him in a later round.
yeah, and that was also my other, what are our time constraints? How long is
That's
this
gonna be
fight?
probably 6 3-minute rounds.
6?
I would say
Yeah,
it's
or
probably
8
it's,
2
There's no way
minute.
they're doing a 10.
It'll have to be
Right.
some
If
type of
yeah,
exhibition.
and that
If it's-
and that's
if-
gonna work against Askren.
If it's pro, it's gonna be 3 minutes. 5 sure.
Yeah.
I think it has to be an exhibition.
Really.
I don't know that.
Isn't Jake ranked now?
But the one between
Nate Paul,
Logan
or
Paul
Nate
and Floyd will be an exhibition.
Oh my god,
Logan-
that's fucking.
is Logan
happening,
pro?
Too.
Which one's not pro? Or are they both pro now?
Well,
Who just
Jake
fought
was
Nate
pro
Robinson?
when he fought KSI, I believe.
Jake
Jake Paul.
Jake just fought Nate Robinson, right? Yeah, okay. But so the last thing that I'm going to say about Askren, because he has like 20 something fights, right? 30, whatever. So like I'm not taking away from him, but like Jake is a dog. Jake wants to be in that street fight.
He's definitely-
throwing bombs. Whereas like I'm not saying Askren can't fight because he has fought and proven himself, but Askren does not want to be in that bitch in the middle of the ring throwing hands.
He's definitely got something more to prove than Askren does. And I think Askren, and maybe we're counting Askren out here a little bit with saying that, but I think that Jake definitely is like looking to fucking prove people wrong about his own ability, whereas Askren's just like kind of a troll.
Seems like
I mean,
he's just getting a
he's
paycheck
just and I mean he's
at
just
this
doing it. He's doing it kind of for the publicity, but also it's just something to do at this point. Like he's retired, and why not?
Last thing I'll say on this is I would tell you that I'd never buy this in a million years, but I'm such an Askren fan that I'm probably going to buy it.
Yeah, dude.
everybody.
And
It's just one of those things you're not going to want to miss.
These Pauls are so intelligent the way they do this thing, and I just want to pitch to you guys one more question. I think, Hunter, I know where you stand. Do you think minus 180 is good odds as Jake Paul is opening?
Yeah.
How would you like to see the odds? I think minus 180 almost be a little too close. I would put Jake minus 200, minus 250, especially as opening odds.
Yeah. Minus 250.
Just because
I like
of
minus
his
250.
age, size, and
Age, size, it's only boxing,
the hunger for the win, I guess.
and it's just going to be an absolute clusterfuck.
It is.
And I think
100%.
that's gonna work
And
in
this
his-
is boxing, so it's already going to be a political stunt for the boxer. Boxing in a boxing versus MMA type fight, it's always going to be a heavily favored boxing decision based type thing. Like you can say it up and down. Everybody knows it. Boxing is so political that they're just for the sake of the sport. Whatever promotion they're fighting on, I don't know if you can see it, but like you know how it's gonna go, bro. If it goes to decision and it's close, it's definitely going to Jake. He's a young guy, has a chance to make more money for the sport.
He's probably paying for the promotion to even be,
Yeah, exactly.
displayed. So
Whatever. So
Okay, so you agree with the odds? You might even
Minus
skew them
250,
more in the
yeah.
favor.
yeah,
And final prediction, gun to the head. How do you think that fight ends if it happens?
Paul knockout. Paul knocks out Askren.
What round?
3, 2, maybe 2, 3.
Early knockout,
Early
Jake
knockout.
Paul. So
I
you'll
think- I
look
think
like
if it
a
goes late, he
complete
might
piece
get
of
tired.
shit if Askren goes out there and pieces
Yeah.
him up.
I
This
think-
is great.
Yeah, Askren decision.
Askren decision.
I think it goes to full time. I don't think.
And would you like to see the odds more in favor of Askren?
More evenly or
Yeah, I
more-
think 250 is a little steep. Maybe, I think, like you were saying, 185 is pretty good, just because Jake Paul is younger and he is the, quote unquote boxer of the two. He's not. I mean, he's a YouTube guy. I don't really think he's a boxer, but he is, I guess.
Yeah.
And investing a lot of money into doing things right.
Right.
I mean, he's able to train with the right people all day long.
I think it's a good bet.
Could be, anybody could be a boxer, but I would say he's more of a boxer than us, but he's not like Canelo. So
yeah, because you go to a boxing gym every day and you have a personal trainer that, I mean, he literally has like a fucking boxing ring in his in his house.
Yeah, he has one in his house. He has like a whole thing, and he has trainers and shit.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure these guys are fucking high level dudes that are training him.
We've seen the Instagram videos. He does have a ring in his house.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where I don't hate the game. I hate the player because I respect it. He's making mad money, promoting himself. He's doing it right, like you said. I just hate him and his brother because of what they're doing.
Here's the other aspect of this whole thing is, I mean, like boxing before, and I'm not gonna say it was dead, but it wasn't as interesting before either, like, I mean, Canelo and Triple G were like the only ones that like people would watch.
Yeah. What do you watch? One boxing fight a year and it's Canelo.
Yeah, it's Canelo or Triple G because Gennady was fucking like doing Matrix shit to people too.
Yeah.
And
I don't even maybe what's the Russian dude? Lomachenko, maybe him.
Yeah.
Not
Who
even
just
him.
lost to Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, he did.
Shout out America.
I believe that guy's Hispanic.
Yeah, he's
Is he from
the United
America
States,
though?
Yeah, he's like a Moreno that just fought. He's like Mexican American or whatever.
Yeah, dope. That was a great fight though. He was.
Yeah, it was.
Lomachenko, man, looked lost out there. I was like, I've never seen him lose like that.
First 6 rounds, it wasn't him, but I thought he started coming on very strong in the last 6.
Yeah, man, and he knew he was losing, and I think that's why he was like. I think he was kind of afraid of getting pieced up.
Or was he too calm because he knew he was the better boxer? Just like I was saying, he just knew that he wasn't going to get finished.
Yeah.
And he knew that if he had to turn it on, he could, and he showed that in the later rounds. Unfortunately, I don't want to see that fight again immediately.
It was too late. Yeah, it was too late to start.
Let's get him another fight and get him back to being aggressive, peekaboo style that he has in and out, and get him a finish. And I'd like to see that Teofimo Lopez fight. Excuse me.
Back to the original point. I think this is doing good things for boxing, and martial arts in general, because we're converging all at one point here. We're bringing Ben Askren, who wrestled at Mizzou, who was one championship champ, and a UFC fighter, who is fighting a YouTube boxer. I mean, and it's bringing in a boxing match. But it's making, everyone interested.
The stuff you used to talk about as kids, would this guy beat this guy? Would that guy beat that guy? What if this happened? It's crazy that 2020
fights. Yeah, the super fights
is a whole new clusterfuck.
Can we get some dude from the NFL like Gronk to fight,
or a professional NBA player to fight this guy? What the fuck would happen? And we're starting to find out answers, and a lot of us are not liking those answers. This next question I will queue up for Hunter,
guys winning.
And hopefully we have a good backstory. I don't even know the story. This is Mason Jones versus Mike Davis. Mason Jones, who Hunter supposedly has a relationship with, and he will tell us how he knows him, is going to make his debut in the UFC, and I will let you give us the background of what he's done on the regional circuit prior to this fight. But let me just say this, Mike Davis is a real opponent. He lost on the Contender Series July 23rd of 2018, followed by 2 finish wins on the regional circuit on Island Fights. He lost his first fight in the UFC April 27th, 2019, but it was to Gilbert Burns. He follows that with KOing Gifford in the UFC, who is a very strong grappler and a good fighter. Tell us what you know about Mason Jones, who he is to you, and what we expect to see in this fight. Hunter has the bladder of a 2-year-old, so we had to take a minor intermission. We were discussing Mason Jones. Tell us how you know that kid.
All right, so when I got out of the Marine Corps, my goal was to move to Sacramento so I could train at Team Alpha Male under Uriah Faber. And I did that. I accomplished that goal. I moved there with my best friend, Nathan Burns, and his goal was to be a power lifter, and mine was to go to Team Alpha Male and just tear it up and instantly become a 155-pound champ. Obviously, I learned real quick how hard it is to achieve that level. But anyways, I learned real quick because Mason Jones was there doing a training camp. So they have this thing there called Train with Tam, and people from all over the world, China, Germany, Wales, where Mason is from, all over the world, all over the country, come and do this program called Train with Tam, and you pay like $500 a week.
Train with Sam?
Tam. Team Alpha Male.
Oh, okay.
So you pay like $500 a week. They put you in this fighter house. Everybody, you get your own room and bed, and it covers your food in the house, and then you can train at as many classes or as little classes as you want while you're there, and you can stay there as long as you want. So Mason had come out for like a 5 or 6 week training camp before his 7th pro fight, and he was 6-0 at the time, I think, and we were the same weight in size, so I just happened to like get matched up with him often. And these are big classes, like wrestling class, striking, whatever, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. So we were just always around each other. And so we became pretty cool. Not like best friends. We weren't hanging out or anything, but at the gym we were cool. And I was helping him get ready for his fight. He was teaching me some new stuff. 'Cause this guy I didn't know at the time. And at the time he was a brown belt. This guy's 25. And now he has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He already possessed a black belt in judo, and he has a kickboxing black belt, which is pretty impressive, being 25 years old to have a black belt in 3 different martial arts.
Definitely.
That's insane.
Yeah, and his girlfriend is like an Olympic taekwondo black belt type thing, like, so she helps him there. Like his striking is phenomenal. He's 4-0 as a pro boxer.
And he's originally from Wales?
Wales, yeah, he's a Welsh fighter. So he trains in Wales like 24/7, but then whenever he's getting ready for some fights, he like flies out to Sacramento. Probably paid for by his sponsors, honestly, because he has quite a few sponsors. But I'm not sure. He just trains full time in Wales, and then sometimes he's been known to go back and forth. Like, he's done this journey a few times. I just happened to meet him and kind of connect with him briefly. But so anyways, he was a Cage Warriors fighter, and I've watched him go from like 6-0 to 7-0 to 8-0 to 9-0, where he won the 155-pound belt in a fantastic fashion. When you watch this guy fight, he's a super exciting fighter. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt, but like he's not looking for like, to just lay down and take you down. Like, he will stand in front of your face and pick you apart with impressive and very aggressive counter striking. Like, he pushes a pace, but like he's hard to hit and hit cleanly. And I'm talking beautiful spinning back kicks, head kicks, sweet combos. But yeah, I watched him win the 155-pound belt, and then immediately turning around, instead of taking the easy way to the UFC and defending his 155-pound belt, he instead challenged the 170 guy, who his opponent pulled out. So he took the fight on the Cage Warriors trilogy and picked him apart for a first-round TKO, and becoming only the second person ever in Cage Warriors history to become a Cage Warriors double champ, 2-division weight class champ, and the only other person to ever do is Conor McGregor. So I think we're seeing a rising star here come to the UFC, and his first test will be January what?
I believe it's going to be January 20th.
Against Mike Davis.
Who's
not a slouch, apparently.
Holy crap. I mean, you've got my my goosebumps going, but let me just counter that and let me show you this Mike Davis guy's record and what he's done. He has 10 fights. He's 8-2. His only losses are to Sadiq Yusuf on the Contender Series. And on the Contender Series, that's not a normal fight. You're coming out there fighting out of how you normally would, because you're sitting in front of Dana fucking White.
Yeah.
And he loses to a killer in Sadiq Yusuf. His only other loss is to Gilbert Burns, who's fighting for the title. This guy has 8 wins. All 8 wins are by fucking KO or submission. 8 finishes.
Wow.
With everything you've just told me, and I know we weren't as tuned in to your boy as you are, I'm fucking excited for this fight.
This is wow. Now that you told me that, because like I don't really know Mike Davis. I think you were even earlier like, who's Mike Davis?
Yeah, we had to look it up and do the research.
And so this is a banger, and this is so heat because Mason, like after his last fight, he was like, I'm ready. I want to go to the UFC, and he was like, and he even shouted out UFC. He was like, hey UFC, send your biggest, baddest, your killer. It doesn't matter. I'm the king. I'll chop them all down. What did he say? He said, stand them up. They all fall the same way. It doesn't matter. Like, not necessarily like jabbing like Connor, just shit talking, but like it's just
confidence.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's like an amazing amount of confidence. It's
so
sick.
So the other thing that's not to be overlooked here is that Mike Davis lost on the Contender Series, but still got signed to the UFC. Correct.
Right. He did have 2 fights in island fights, which he finished both, one by TKO,
so he
one
went
by
contender,
submission.
Then island fights,
right?
Because he lost, and then found his way back to the UFC where he beat Thomas Gifford, who's a Factory X guy. James Krause, Alexander Hernandez, killers out of Factory X, and he won that fight. Gifford is a fucking huge. I imagine this fight will be a 55.
Yeah,
he is a huge 55er. We're talking 6'2". He's a phenomenal grappler.
Wow.
And he beat this guy, and I'm
this is going to be
excited.
an exciting fight then.
How tall is Davis? Or I wonder what the reach difference is, because I think Mason's like 5'9". Like he's not very big, and
he
like
just packs.
Even like at his size, he's not like ripped. Like what we were talking about earlier, me lifting and whatnot. He's not big. Like he doesn't look like he has an ounce of muscle on him. Like he looks like an average Joe on the street.
This could be a good fight. Mike Davis is 6 foot. He's fought at 145 pounds. He fought Gifford at 55. So this could be a very fair fight as far as physical attributes.
Because
I wonder they might be fighting at 145. Because at 170, Mason was kind of chunky. Like he was, like he's 5'9". He
at
fights
55.
No, 170 when he went for the belt. He was kind of chunky.
So he might have had to gain just extra adipose tissue weight.
I think he weighed in at like 169. I was like, like he's not a 170er at all. He was just trying to show his dominance in Cage Warriors and did it fantastically.
How do you think this fight goes?
This is obviously a step up from the competition at Cage Warriors. They have great fighters there and great fighters that have come out of there, but this is a huge step up. With everything you told me from Mike Davis, though,
this could be absolute fucking fireworks.
Yeah, this could be a war.
Because Mason will stand right in front of him but use angles. Like he's so aggressive, but it's beautiful the way he works. I would have to see more film on Mike Davis, but this could go either way. And I think decision. I think a decision be in Mason's first test in the UFC for him or Davis over him. I don't see either one of them knock each other out.
I think he definitely takes a tactical approach to it, and he doesn't try to push it too hard to get a knockout. And that's probably that'll be just first fight in the UFC jitters as well. So
absolutely.
We've got that to look forward to, I guess, because Mike Davis is obviously comparatively a vet to him. So I think the UFC has high confidence in Mason based on giving him someone who's literally, only losses Burns and
Thomas Gifford.
Yeah.
And another thing too, just to add, this was that January 20th card where Leon Edwards, Khamzat Chimaev fight fell out, so it's just another feather in the cap for that card. Some other names on that.
That whole week is just packed, man.
Some other names on this January 20th card. You have Michael Chiesa versus Neil Magny.
That's going to be great, too.
Some other big names. Francisco Figueiredo is going to take on Jerome Rivera, which is the brother of Jimmy Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
You have Mike Jackson, who beat your boy CM Punk. So Mike Jackson got cut because Dana said he refused to finish CM Punk. And so he cut him, but he's back now. Mike Jackson has a pretty decorated kickboxing career. He's only 4 or 5-0 in MMA. Pedro Munoz is back, fighting Jimmy Rivera. So he's on the same card with his brother. That's pretty fucking cool.
That's dope.
Jeffrey Molina from the Glory Factory X is also going to be on that card.
Yeah, he was at the fights whenever I fought a few weeks ago.
So pretty stacked card. And after you've described to me how Mason Jones, who he is, his background, having all those belts, fucking awesome. And I was going to say, too, before we move on, Cage Warriors is a little different. When you get someone off the regional circuit, you never know what type of product they really are. But when you come out of Cage Warriors, that's about a step down from UFC, and
Yeah.
it's consistently just a minor step down. That is a badass promotion.
Yeah,
and
they have. I mean, Conor McGregor came from there.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm
Dan
fucking
Hardy.
thrilled.
God, there's so many that have come from Cage Warriors, from that Europe circuit, and they just have some absolute dogs in there. Even like Patty, I can't remember his last name. Patty the Batty. That dude-
Houlihan?
Yeah, the one that's in Cage Warriors still.
Oh.
Patty something. His nickname's the Batty, but he's a badass motherfucker. I think he just broke his arm or had an arm surgery or something, so he's gonna be in the UFC soon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's
Scrawny
one of
white
the-
guy.
Yeah, with the long weird
Yes.
bowl cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, he's a monster.
He's a killer.
They were trying to get him and Mason to fight, but Mason was like, "No, I'm gonna go to the UFC." So I mean, I don't blame you.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
The final thing, which is only right we end our MMA news with. Let's just discuss, this isn't really breaking news or news, but let's discuss this Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier number 2, and a couple odd angles from this fight that I want to address. Some words from Kavanaugh, the coach of McGregor, that he recently took to Twitter to explain. And let's go ahead and we'll pull out some fights from the card. It's kind of been dog shit. It sounds like we might be getting an awesome co-main event for that card. Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler. It's rumored.
wow.
It's not confirmed. But the rest
Michael
of the
Chandler.
card, as they always do with the McGregor fight, they don't need to stack it because it's going to
Yeah.
sell. So we'll see if there's any other fights you guys are looking forward to.
Oh man,
I love
I
love Hooker.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Michael Chandler get another chance. I think that he's
I don't not like him, but like I really like Dan Hooker. Like he's a nice guy and he's a banger.
They're
He's
both
a warrior.
incredible
for
warriors.
sure.
I'll pitch it to you first, Eric. How do you see the fight going? What are you looking forward to? Let's address Conor's physical shape. He looks incredible. And let's also address something that I don't know why I didn't think about this. Yes, this fight is several years later. Kavanaugh said if you get knocked out by someone, there's nothing you can do to not stop thinking about that if that guy's in front of you. And it hit me, and I said, that's absolutely right. It doesn't matter if you've won 20 world titles after that. You know that this guy has put you to sleep, and that might make you a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, I think the psychological experience of probably being put out is definitely going to play a large factor in Poirier's mental game prior to, and I'm sure that he's probably addressed that with some kind of mental coach. And I think based on like after his career after the initial fight, it seemed like he had done better to prepare mentally, I guess, because he did get KO'd by McGregor so fast. I mean, and it's not like that was the end of his career.
45, first round, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, just starch, dude. And but that's still in your subconscious. I think that thing lives, and it's like this is a man who just beat the brakes off you, and you never know if he really saw it coming, and I don't think you do, and that's how you get completely knocked unconscious like that. So I can't I can't give it to Poirier, man. I mean, I think he goes out, I think he gets a couple rounds in, but I really still think that unless Conor is just toying with him with the first 2 rounds or whatever, then he starches him either first, second round or does it in the third.
This was a 5-rounder.
I believe it is a 5-round.
Absolutely. This will be a main event, and Khabib has taken to Twitter to say they should just go ahead and give him the title, which to me lets me know that he's only going to come back for GSP or to regain
McGregor.
that title for McGregor if he wins it.
That's a good move.
It is a good move.
dude.
How do you see the fight going, Shark?
Oh, Diamond and Notorious. I am and have been a Conor McGregor fan for a long time, as anybody says, I'm sure. All these bandwagon fans say, but like, I hated when they first fought. I hated Poirier. I was like, who the fuck is this square?
The square.
And, I just didn't like him, but I've grown. Like Poirier's grown on me. And
He's a good dude.
Yeah, and,
He's a good person.
And yeah, that was just me being a Conor bandwagon fan myself. Just hating on Poirier when they first fought. But he's grown on me since Conor's absence. Not that he's been absent, but he's fought twice, whereas or whatever. And then in the last 6 fights Poirier has had, he's like 5-1, only lost to Khabib, and Conor's only fought twice. So like Poirier's just been there for me, been more relevant. So
Not the same fighter.
Yeah,
No.
and he's fucking not. He's good now. Like,
His
not that he
boxing
wasn't
is
good
beautiful.
now. Not that he wasn't good when he lost, but like he's really good now. And Conor has improved tremendously as well. But I don't think he's the same fighter. And I don't know about the knockout, dude. That was a long time ago, years ago. What was it, 5 years ago? When he got KO'd by McGregor?
As a fighter, how do you see
2014.
that
2014, 6
mentally
years ago.
affecting someone?
I don't.
Have you ever been knocked out unconscious?
No, but I've been TKO'd. Kind of like I've been TKO'd. I've been dropped. Like,
Has it been difficult for you to get up in any of those TKOs?
Whenever
Not
I
up
start
for the fight. Sorry to interrupt. Not up for the fight, but up like from the mat. Have you ever been that almost KO'd?
Yeah. In sparring when I was boxing, I was about 17. I caught a vicious liver kick one time, dropped me, and I was on the floor for a couple minutes. Not the same with the mental aspect, I don't think, because that's just your body. And
Right.
but so for me, I have been rocked. When I get rocked, I think like we talked about last episode, never back down. You're either backing the hell up or getting the hell in. It's just to each his own. Because when I get rocked, I'm like, oh hell no, and then I start going hard, and I'll get in your face and fight back. So I think that Poirier is gonna have to, get a little bit of that dog in him, to fight. Because if Kavanaugh's right and it is in his mind, he already lost.
Guaranteed.
Which
And I mean, how does he take that to a technical advantage against someone who is so surgical in their striking? Though you're saying rush a guy who literally, I mean,
best 155 pound
dude, like
counter
pinpoint strikes on somebody,
Yeah.
and as a super good counter striker. So if you're being more aggressive, you're almost putting yourself
more
out
risk.
there way more than you should be.
Yeah.
So I mean, how does one approach that?
In and out. You got to be like Arturo got it. You got to be in and out.
I do want to draw something that you said is that you're either in or you're out. But that's a little different because most fighters are the dogs and they're going to get in there if you hit them.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different. This is something that you can't mentally process. When you get clipped with a shot and your body doesn't work, I've never been, so I'm talking out of my fucking ass, so I apologize to anybody that has had this happen to them. But when you get clipped with a shot and I imagine your legs don't work right, that's different than, oh, it hurt. The liver shot hurt and you turned into a dog, oh, that might be a pain thing.
No, that is different. I'm talking about when I
Right.
get my bell rung. Because, you got to fight that off. Whether it's a body, say you get hit with a body shot or you get your bell rung and everything starts vibrating, because that's what it feels like. You hit your funny bone. When you get rocked, it feels like you hit your funny bone on your brain and your whole body is like, that's when my defensive mode isn't to like cover up and back out or whatever. It's to go put that pressure on you and I'll make you cover up, or I'll try to ring your bell or hit you with a hard body shot. That's what I do.
Do you think it would be different, though, if you were knocked out? Do you think you would have trouble processing what the fuck just happened to you?
So the other thing is, like the last two fights that I lost, one was by decision, and I got outclassed completely. Wasn't ready for the fight. As soon as the fight was over, though, as soon as I got out of the cage, I was pretty beat up. Nothing horrific, but as soon as I got out of the cage, I went back to the locker room and I told my coach, Rudy, I can beat that guy. 6 months, I can beat that guy. This has been almost a year later now. I know I can beat the dude I lost to by decision. So then, more recently, I just got TKO'd. I know what I did wrong. I know what I need to fix or whatever. And the first thing I said whenever I got out of the cage, I had my eye was swollen, it was cut and everything. It was pretty gnarly. TKO'd in the first round. But as soon as I got back to the locker room, I was like, I could beat that guy. Like, he doesn't hit hard at all. I ate like 30 punches. The ref just pulled him off. I was never hurt. I was just caught in a bad position. But I was like, I can beat that guy. So, like, when I lose a fight or when I finish sparring and I just got beat up by whoever, my mentality is I can beat that guy. I know what I just fucked up on. I know what I need to fix. It might not be able to be fixed now or tomorrow or next month. It's going to take time. And you have to be realistic about that. And it's been 6 years since he lost. It's been 6 years since he got knocked out. Look at how much better he is. I still think Conor's gonna win. I'm just saying, like, as far as Kavanaugh goes, to say that like he's still in his head, I think that's like you're a fucking fighter.
A little more mental games than you.
Yeah,
you'd say.
I think it's not. I don't think it's gonna affect him that much. Like how do you become a UFC fighter not thinking that you'll ever get knocked out? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
Right, fair.
we get fucking banged on every day, bro. It's not the first time he's had his bell rung. He might have even been knocked out before in practice. It was embarrassing, but okay, he's still one of the best fighters at 155. Are you serious? That dude, I just feel like Kavanaugh. I feel like Kavanaugh is the one egging Poirier on right now because McGregor's been quiet, like and super humble and cool since he's come back to fight like Cowboy and then Poirier now and whoever else he's talked to. Like he's a different McGregor. He's not, wilding out anymore. But I think Kavanaugh is almost the one like poking the finger at Poirier, trying to get in his head. Like, what if that's what Kavanaugh's doing instead of McGregor?
For McGregor, because he knows McGregor's kind of taking a more mature profile.
So what if that's
the
what
last
he's
couple
doing?
fights?
I feel like it's like I said, man. That was 6 years ago, and he knows he's a whole different fight. He's 10-2 since they fought.
Yeah, and I mean, like, getting into someone's head like that, especially through, like, articles and stuff, and what you say to the media, because they know that the media is going to, like, they're going to say, this is what he said in the interview. Fucking, he says that Kavanaugh says that McGregor is still in Poirier's head, and Poirier, reads that, and he's like, fuck, dude, he's not in my head.
Oh, they're
Is
tagging
he?
him in on fucking Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
Is he hitting his head?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, this card needs some fucking help, and so I'm glad that this fight is happening at the top of the banner here. I'll say this fight is so fucking intriguing because it might not be the highest profile fight Conor could have, but it might be the most dangerous.
Yeah.
It's another southpaw. We know how he matched up against Diaz. He has trouble with southpaws.
Yeah.
His primary style is boxing. What is Poirier's? Yes, he's the thug jitsu guy, but his primary thing is boxing. He's dialed it in over the last several fights. He has his own boxing trainer. This could be a fucking war. I still have McGregor winning. I have him winning early second round.
Really?
TKO
second round.
I think McGregor's ground game is actually a little bit slept on. I think he knocks him down. I think Poirier gets a little scared, adjusts, tries to use his jiu-jitsu, and I think you'll see a TKO from the ground in the early to mid second.
What was your prediction?
I'd say decision almost. I don't think either one of them's knocking each other out now.
I don't see Poirier going to a decision with McGregor because Poirier comes on so strong.
You think
I don't
McGregor's
like-
going to catch him with that sneak left? The
I
counter
don't
left?
like the fight.
Sneak left. I think everyone knows it's they know it's there.
Hey, you know it's there, but that shit hits you. You're like, where the fuck did that come from?
Dennis Seaver with his one back kick.
His spinning back kick is amongst the best in the
Connor?
UFC.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's Dennis Seaver.
Dennis Seaver.
He
the
hit
best
one
spinning
person
back
with
kick.
it, and Rogan made a preview,
Okay.
and they hype it up. He's like, he's got excellent submissions.
If I hit him with my spinning back kick, it's over.
Yeah, but it's in German, so it's all subtitled. It goes, if I hit him with my spinning back kick, it's over. Like, if that's your hope to beat McGregor, you're already fucking losing.
Yeah.
So official prediction, Hunter. I've got TKO second, off Dustin's back.
You know what? I think you guys have swayed me a little bit. And I've been a little bit of a fanboy off the Poirier-Hooker fight because they were throwing hands, but Hooker is not McGregor.
No.
So that punching power, I'll give Kavanaugh that. He said that he was like, Dustin still hasn't fought anybody that hits like McGregor. There's not many people in general that hit like McGregor, pound for pound. So I think I'll give you late third, early fourth TKO.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
Wear him down a little bit,
Fourth round's a good prediction, I think too, just because McGregor hasn't been in the cage in a while, and I think that if he's wanting to get the cobwebs off, he's gonna start a little slower and where Poirier, get him in the zone kind of, and
I think the biggest question of the fight is going to be, can Poirier withstand the shoulder strikes?
Oh, man.
God, dude.
It's like the tip of a steel mace in his fucking chin.
Oh my god.
I'm so fucking excited for that fight. Now,
Yeah.
the card, as I said earlier, needs some fucking help. Under the banner there of Poirier McGregor, we have Jessica I, Joanne Calderwood.
Weak.
As a sick fan, I'll watch it, but I'll also
It'll be
watch two
fine.
morons fight in a quick trip. You have Khalil Roundtree, which took a little mental health break. He's back against Marcin Prachinio. Sorry if I fucked that up. Marina Rodriguez, this is an interesting one, is back against Amanda Hebes, who most recently submitted Paige Van Zant.
Oh, nice.
Brad Tavares, Antonio Carlos Jr., that's an okay middleweight fight. Matt Frivola, Ottoman Azatar. Shane Burgos, Hakeem Dawodu. Now, that's a fucking sleeper.
Shane Burgos, yeah.
Other than that, there's some announced bouts that aren't finalized, so I'm really hoping that we get that co-main event because that would make this whole $70 pay-per-view
That's Chandler
fucking
versus
worth it.
who?
Michael Chandler, Dan Hooker.
Okay, yeah.
That would
An
be a sick
incredible fight.
Yeah, I'm really, I just really want to see Chandler get his feet wet in the UFC again. So
Yeah, and I think it's a good fight. I like Hooker so much. I think Chandler can pull that win off, but I
it's a
can't
different
sway.
ballgame in the UFC, though. I mean,
this ain't
coming
Bellator.
coming
And
from
I just
Bellator.
like Hooker so much.
Yeah,
And I mean, bro,
Chandler's
you,
another Mizzou wrestler we've been talking
Yeah.
about. So
I mean, you got to cheer for the Missouri boy, but like I love Izzy, and I know how good Izzy is. So that's a tough training partner to have to swallow. That like Izzy's gonna have him ready, right?
Oh yeah,
And City Kickboxing will have him ready, and Hooker's
City cockboxing.
yeah, City Cockboxing, but Hooker's a monster, dude. For he's not very big. Chandler's ripped as fuck.
dude,
He's a monster.
Chandler looks like. I mean, I don't know if anyone is in better shape.
Colby,
Fitness wise. Yeah, and I guess he probably is, but we haven't seen Chandler perform in the UFC again, and
Yeah.
that's what I think he gets out there, and I mean he gets some work done because the dude
He cuts so much weight with his physique, I worry about his chin.
is how much does he weigh normally?
No idea, but just looking at him, he is
185
hard
probably.
as a fucking rock.
God,
no
he's
homo.
big. Yeah, how tall is he? Is he
5'10"
5'9"?
at least.
5'10"?
5'10"?
At least.
I think
he's.
he's shorter
think
than
he's
that.
shorter. I think he
he's
might
5'8".
be 5'8".
Yeah, I think he's short.
We'll look
bro.
it up here. Michael Chandler height.
Oh, he
5'8",
is-
exactly.
He is short. Yeah.
He is a short
I'm thinking about like
motherfucker.
an interview.
So
now.
he
He
might
has a
is
Chad
kinda short.
Mendez body.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one
Well,
other
don't
fight
McGregor then.
that I want to point out here, and I want to call it here first. You've heard it here on Heavy Fucking Hands. This guy, Matthias Nikolai, he's a flyweight who the UFC
Is it
actually...
Matthias or is it Mateus?
It could be Mateus. I apologize. I'm a moron. Matthias Nikolai, whoever you are,
Matthias.
just know that I was your fucking only fan. Because this guy entered the UFC
What's the subscription?
November 7th, 2015. And I remember because I watched this card prior to my birthday. This kid is so fucking good. He's a flyweight, 125-pounder. He beats this guy in the UFC, Belfort vs. Henderson #3, with a Japanese necktie.
Oh, nice.
Enters at 10-1 in the UFC, wins that fight. Then he beats John Moraga in the UFC. Then he beats Luis Smolka, who's still fighting, just won recently a couple weekends ago. This kid is fucking so good, and he's super tall for flyweight. I think he's only 5'7", but that's tall.
Yeah.
He loses to Dustin Ortiz. They cut this kid
Wow.
because they're getting rid of the flyweight division at this time. This is 2018. I have a drunk message on Instagram to Dana White that I can show you right now. I said I got hammered after this card when he lost. I said, you can't cut this kid. I'm telling you, he's fucking incredible. So what is Matthias, Matthias? What does he do? He goes out and wins 2 more fights. Alan Gabriel, May 24, 2019, by Japanese necktie.
Oh my god.
This kid is incredible. I'm telling you, and his striking is phenomenal. Then he beats Felipe Efran and Brave CF. Brave's a badass organization. And now he's back in the UFC. He'll fight at UFC 257 versus to be determined. But
Nice.
he supposedly will be there, and that is a fight and a fighter that I want you guys to be on the lookout for. And I want to be on record saying that Matthias Nikolai, whoever you are, I love you.
Let's get those
and
screenshots from Dana.
I might have got you back in the UFC. I don't.
Jamie pulled us up.
So fucking amazing. That's great. let's do a little bit of current events and we'll get the hell out of here.
Alrighty.
All right, dude.
Well, I don't know what to talk about first. All these are super depressing. Let's just get this stimulus check bullshit out of the way.
God, we're having a rough time in America.
God, dude.
We were supposed to get stimulus checks. It sounds like they're coming. We were going to get $600. Trump went to Twitter to say we should get $2,000. It sounds like the House of Representatives
blocked it. Right?
No, they
passed
agreed.
it?
No,
They
the House
voted it
approved it.
on a
The
2-1
bill.
vote. It went to the Senate today, Tuesday, December 29th, and one senator,
Mitch McConnell.
Bitch
McConnell.
Shout out, bitch.
has denied us our stimulus checks.
Yeah,
so
dude.
I don't
Fuck
want to
that.
sit here and cry, but Eric, what would you have done with the $2,000?
Oh man, build a guillotine.
Build a guillotine?
Yeah, like a.
That funny meme?
Like the medieval. Yeah.
So is there anything that you would actually take the money and use for? Would you save it? Would you invest it?
Probably just save it. Well, I've been investing a little bit with the Moderna stuff, and I've made a little bit of money off Moderna, but I'm not sure how long that cash cow is gonna survive, just based on its stock every day. But for right now, it would just go to my savings. But I'm not one of those people that needs it. I think that there's a lot of people out here that $600 is a fucking drop in the bucket, man. That's a couple trips to fucking Hy-Vee if you've got a family. You're feeding a family of 4 and you got 2 adults or whatever. I mean, that's not shit. It's not enough. It's unacceptable.
It's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
It really is disrespectful. I mean, we need to get term limits on the Senate, and we need to do some serious voting to make this shit right, because this is just not good for America. Whether you're on the left or the right side of the aisle, it's just not good for any of us. And $600, it's
Trash.
nothing. It's
I
nothing.
mean, even
yeah.
2,000.
Even 2,000, but yeah,
it's an improvement.
I mean,
but
we've
still.
shut the country down for 9 months. So.
2,000 to me is reasonable if you're going to continue to give people unemployment.
It's really not reasonable, but it's
If you're going to continue,
it's less of a disrespectful amount. $600 is just fucking pathetic.
Yeah, so you don't have any plans. You didn't really need the money, obviously.
I
We're
mean,
fortunate enough that we were able to keep a job.
Right, we have jobs, but there are definitely people out there that are unable to either work right now because they have to watch their kids and COVID is occurring, or they lost their job because of COVID, or they have had COVID and they don't have any insurance for getting COVID, because there's lots of people out there that still have to go to work every day amidst the pandemic. So I think it's stupid.
I saw, for me, and this sounds really fucking horrible, but I was one of those guys where $2,000 was going to be some home renovations, just some luxury shit that, not luxury, but luxury for me that I don't need, but it would have been nice to have. And I saw when the House of Representatives was going to go ahead and approve it and passed it on to the Senate. It was a shared post on Facebook, and I went and clicked on it, so there were hundreds of thousands of people in comments. And I got overwhelmingly depressed because I saw a list of hundreds of comments, and you never know if these people are obviously bullshitting, but why would they? Talking about how $2,000 might save their life. That might get them 2 more mortgage payments, and they know that they're starting to make money again at their jobs. It might get them diapers for the next 6 months, and it might get them necessities. And they said, we're still thankful for the $600. Here we're sitting saying it's a slap in the face, and these people are even thankful for $1 that they can have from the government. So when I saw that, I was overwhelmingly depressed, and I did take a step back and realize how important it was to get some type of stimulus bill and to get it out quick.
I mean, I agree with that part, but I just don't think that $600 is going to do it enough for anybody. I agree with getting some sort of money, and I guess $600, if that's all that we can muster out of all this money that is going overseas, and not working on our country, I guess, is, but, it just makes me mad, man. So,
Hunter, did you, obviously, you have a kid, 2,000 could be incredible for anyone with a child.
It's good for Abby. I don't even get it. I didn't get the last one.
Why do you not?
Because I was dealing with like my DUIs and stuff.
Legal
and so
stuff.
I didn't work that like for a year because I was taking care of all my legal shit, getting my ducks in a row, doing the right thing. I wasn't fucking off not working because I couldn't. I was doing the right thing, squaring my life away, getting ready for my baby girl to be born and stuff. So I didn't work, and I was like going through this court stuff, and it's just a big hassle to get into. But
because you didn't work, they wouldn't give you a
yeah,
stimulus.
because I didn't have taxes filed.
Did you reach out and talk to a representative that told you this specifically?
My mom claimed me, so because I was 24.
Fuck.
I wasn't 25 yet, so my mom claimed me and got my $1,200 extra, and my girl was kind of pissed that my mom did that and got that extra money. But I was like, we lived here for rent free for a year. She took care of us, fed us. I was like, I don't give a fuck. My mom deserved that money. Now, this time around, if I for some reason am not able because of the tax or whatever, I don't know what the deal is with it. But if I'm not able to get it, my mom will obviously give it to me because I haven't lived there and. Because my mom's fair. She wasn't like being a bitch. She just like had taken care of us.
So if she claimed you though, technically she was only supposed to get 500.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Oh, okay.
Maybe she only got like the 500.
Yeah.
I don't know how it worked because as soon as I learned that I wasn't gonna get it, I didn't care.
Right, which is generous. To, like stay there.
2,000 though. I could do a lot with 2,000. So like Abby would get 2,000, and I would get 2,000.
Correct, because you guys are a couple.
You guys aren't married, and if she claimed your daughter,
she'd get 2,500 or whatever.
I don't know what it is
I'm
for
not
kids.
sure,
I haven't looked into the.
Okay,
but
she
would
if
get
one
an
of us
extra.
would get more because of Blakely. Yeah, so I mean that would for us. We're rebuilding our lives. Both of us made some poor decisions. Nothing like horrible, but we just made some bad decisions early on. Some mistakes that people make, whatever. But maybe debt. That would be the biggest thing for us. We're not about to be homeless or whatever. We both have jobs, but paying off some debt so we can buy a house.
Over looming debt.
Yeah,
that everyone
stupid
has.
Shit that it's like hard to pay off. Abby, the car I drive is actually my girlfriend's. It's like she's upside down in it, and just a poor decision that she and her grandma somehow got involved in. I don't even know. This is way before me, but like I'd put it all towards that almost just so I can get rid of it, that payment, because that's $180 a month that like I could use, and they're paying like an insane amount of interest, and we still owe like $12,000 on a piece of shit car. It was just bad decisions that they made, but
young decisions too. Everyone gets in those.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hopefully, maybe they'll take a vote. Maybe we'll get $2,000. I mean, if we get the 600,
I think they're still working on it, but I think that McConnell's going to continue to block it at this point. So we'll see. We'll see what happens maybe next week if they continue to push for it.
And I just hope for everyone else that, I mean, we all have jobs. We're fortunate, but for people who really don't, they can use that money. And maybe if they only give them the 600, maybe they can find some additional assistance for those people.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's
if
a lot
anybody
that
needs help,
could have been done.
Reach out, whether you know us or not.
I hate to talk about this, but I think we should address it.
Oh, yeah.
As I'm sure most of the country knows, and maybe some people out of the country, I'm not sure how far of national or international news this hit. There was a explosion. I believe it was a box truck.
It was an RV.
An RV that was parked in downtown Nashville.
At 6 a.m.
And it was a suicide bomber, they suspect. And it says that it was playing some weird music, get out, something of that nature.
He had, like, speakers on the outside of the truck, like, wired on.
Saying evacuate the area and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty eerie.
Creepy.
Definitely a chilling kind of video to watch the first, or, like the couple seconds that are before it. I guess PD and everybody cleared the area, and obviously it did explode.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos, like a cop literally walking, like,
away from the area.
Yeah,
right
like
when it
patrolling,
exploded.
like, getting people, making sure there's nobody there, and then boom, it explodes, and like you can see the glass like from every window just.
What do you interpret from this? What was this guy's fucking message?
I don't know. Like, he's either like super pro America to like, I feel like if you blow anything up, you're not, you're fucked up in the mind to do that. But I feel like he's trying to preach a message of like the safety in America, something like that, like how fucked up shit is. Like, you can just drive down the street and blow anything you want up. You know what I'm saying? Why else would he be telling people to get out?
Yeah,
Clear the area.
I'm really not sure, like, what, if it was a building that he was
bro,
parked
it's
in front of or anything like that, if that was, like, to speak to his motives. I think it's definitely still being investigated by the FBI and the ATF, but,
And we haven't heard any. They raided his house, but we haven't heard
Right,
anything
and,
as far as what they found.
yeah, and they, obviously,
Motive.
they positively identified him with, body parts at the scene. So he somewhere inside the RV at the point of explosion, I believe. But I mean, it is a hard thing to find the motive. Either he was extremely anti-government, or I mean, there are these like homegrown quote unquote terrorists now or whatever that are.
Yeah, he could be a fucking psycho who just wanted to blow some shit up.
Unfortunately,
The fact that he gave a warning for everyone to
Yeah.
get out.
yeah,
I don't know how to say this without saying he's a good guy, but
I mean, definitely, probably
Not
not a good guy.
Not as bad
But
as
the
he
fact
could've
that he
been,
gave a warning means that it wasn't his idea to maybe hurt people, more so to get a message, as you said, or
Yeah.
maybe he's just a fame seeker and he's fucked up in the head. He could be schizophrenic.
Right.
I don't know, but the whole thing is weird. I wanted to ask you if you guys had read anything about the follow-up vehicle, which
That-
I think was a box truck they
Yes.
found on the highway in another county over
That was
in
also
Tennessee.
playing the same message, but did not have bombs attached to it.
And then someone said, well, it's a, what do they call someone who fakes, like they're another murderer?
copycat.
A copycat. But if you're a copycat, do you have an extra box truck to go to those lengths?
Yeah.
So
and
we need some more details on
Speakers
this.
and everything like that. I mean, that's pretty.
So
that's
this is a
pretty
separate
detailed.
day.
Separate incident. Later
Yeah,
that day.
later
it was.
the same day. This was on
Maybe
Christmas
it's a group
morning?
of people.
Yeah.
A group meaning 2, 10, whatever the fuck. Al Qaeda coming back. I don't know, but
Yeah, dude. It is. It's really hard to determine who it really was at this point. Just because I think the dude was American, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But they just haven't released any information about it.
Another thing too is I'm so sick of people posting about a picture, of this guy and like, oh well, guess he's not another, he's not from another country. America has their own terrorist, and I'm just shut the fuck up, If you want to even associate with these people who think one type of person is a terrorist and one's not, don't even engage those people. They're not worth your time. The fact is that some motherfucker drove an RV to the middle of a city and blew it up, and that could fucking happen anywhere.
Right. I mean, with the intent of either harming people or blowing something up, man. And I mean, like, that's you've got to speculate that that's
Harming $1 million in property as
right.
well.
A pretty evil person, I guess, in that sense, because I mean, I can't imagine anyone in their right mind.
And he
loading
injured 8
explosives up
people.
to
Damaged
RV.
40 buildings. Sorry to interrupt. So
Right.
he did injure people.
oh wow. Well, I guess they didn't listen to the warning. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ. I mean, we're just glad no one fucking got killed.
Right.
We're
Right.
glad no one got fucking killed.
And I mean, I hope that there's no follow-ups to this because, man, it seemed to have obviously happened on a holiday. So hopefully there's nothing to follow up in any nearby areas on New Year's, because that is the next holiday, and Kansas City's pretty close to Nashville, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
If
and
we look at it
hopefully,
like
8
that.
hours.
That's pretty close.
hopefully they find answers, motives. It's unfortunate that we need this stuff, but it's like why we like crime shows. If something happens, if someone gets killed, even if it's your family member, we want to know how and why.
Oh, yeah, I've watched so
And-
much on the Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah, unless we know answers, we're just never satisfied. And hopefully, maybe this guy's family is a good family, and now he's ruined their public image forever. So it's a scary thing. Well, that was fun. Do you guys have anything else you want to shout out, add?
Shout out to everybody who made it through to this part, to the end.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
If you
that's
watch the
real one. If you
podcast,
listen
we
to the whole
appreciate
thing.
you.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, man.
Shout
hope
out
you
to
had
the
a good
cave
Christmas.
and the family.
Yeah, I hope everyone had a good Christmas.
We're finally about to leave 2020, so
Thank God.
I mean,
Yeah. Shout out to the Pat and the Chiefs securing that number 1 seed, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, we're
Super
gonna-
Bowl,
Yes.
running back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say it now.
Yep.
Who are we beating in the Super Bowl? It's big speculation here.
You're probably the biggest football fan
We're
here,
gonna.
Hunter.
I hope we play the Bills in the AFC Championship and beat them.
Yeah,
I think
we're
that'd
gonna
be
beat
a
'em.
sick ass AFC Championship game.
That'd be good.
NFC. I hate to say it, Bucks. I don't want it because I hate Tom Brady.
Yeah,
But they
I
have a
think
good squad. NFC's Rodgers.
Packers.
God, Packers would be a great game. I love the Packers matchup.
Are Steelers gonna get it the fuck together?
No.
I think
dude, their train wreck
No.
is
I think it's the Packers, man.
continuing.
No.
I think it's Packers.
You think
Chiefs.
it's Packers Chiefs?
I
You think
think
they're gonna turn
Aaron
around?
Jones is playing on another level right now.
How did you feel about the Saints? How are you guys feeling about the Saints?
I
I think they're. I know we beat them already, obviously, but I think that it's.
They have the most dangerous weapon, but they just don't have the receiving core. Emmanuel Sanders is not used how he should be, and I don't like their chances.
Yeah.
I think it's Packers. I think Packers. I agree. Packers this year. Seahawks maybe. Seahawks are a sleeper, bro. They're not really a sleeper, but fucking DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson, bro.
Oh my
Chris
God.
Carson and who's their other running back? Their other running backs. are
Carlos
monster,
Hyde.
too. Carlos Hyde, bro.
Well, we had Carlos Hyde this year, didn't we? Was it
Mhm.
this year? 2020,
No,
beginning of
uh-uh.
we
2020.
don't.
I don't think we
no,
did.
we've
no.
never had him.
Hyde?
Yeah.
I don't think the Chiefs, but
He
I'm
played for the-
a new football fan, so
Bro, all right. We'll fact check that.
we are getting.
No, they were rumored.
Do you guys
to
know who
go
we're
for
getting?
David.
It's an old player from the Raiders, maybe that was on like reserve list, just in case Clyde
running
doesn't
back?
come back.
Yeah.
We're
Got a
getting
high ankle
some
sprain.
running back, but anyway,
I
Yeah.
wish Bell has produced more. He's
Yeah.
looked good, but he just hasn't been
Well, yeah.
classic Steelers Bell.
Yeah.
tripped up and a little injured, and then we stopped. We used Darrell Williams
Yeah.
for the majority of that last game.
Yeah.
Bell's interesting.
He is. He's
the
an
way he
interesting
doesn't
runner.
just plow through.
He's wise, man.
All
He's
he
the
needs
most
is his
elusive
eyes.
running back.
Yeah, he's super shifty.
Yeah.
So fun to
But
watch.
you could definitely tell that we were missing Edwards-Helaire on that
That's
last.
my boy.
Do you think
He was my first pick in fantasy. He hasn't really let me down too much until the playoffs.
Clyde.
Yeah, he's been average,
Yeah.
decent output, and then could have been better, but I don't blame him. He's a rookie. But till the playoffs, and then I would have literally won my fantasy league this year if he didn't get 0 points 2 weeks in a row or whatever.
At least it's only a high ankle sprain.
Yeah. Yeah. either
hopefully
way,
we
fuck
can get him
fantasy.
back for some games postseason?
Either way, shout
All
out.
right.
All right.
Shout out everybody that made it. Love y'all.
Yeah, sorry for the shitty quality on the last video. Hopefully this one's better. We're still working stuff out, still getting equipment dialed in. We hope you have a happy holidays. Hope you buy some fun shit if you get your 600.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And we'll see everyone in 2021.
Yes,
Yep.
maybe sooner. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
All right, Happy New Year. Peace out.